Welcome to this week's GV Bounce. I'm Mark McGowan.
I'm Hannah Driscoll.
And we're going to take you through round 5 of the Goulburn Valley Football League, Country Victoria's #1 competition, which we're very proud of, Hannah. The first game we're going to talk about here is Shepparton and Benalla. Now, undoubtedly the Saints have been the biggest surprise packet of the year. 3 wins, 1 loss, coming off a win against the reigning Premier Tatura. You've had a look at them this year. You saw them beat Mansfield. What did you think that day?
Yeah, they were good that day. Mansfield made a bit of a run late in the game, but the Saints managed to hold them off. They've had a big win against the Bulldogs, but their coach, Luke Morgan, very keen to hold on to that advantage. They're adding a bit more height to their side this week with Werribee recruit Will Sullivan joining their ranks. He'll probably be in the ruck. So you've got to wonder how Shepparton's going to line up against yet another tall in that lineup.
It does make it difficult for them. They're obviously, as we've discussed off camera, they're not rife with height. Shepparton, so he's going to make it tough for them, and obviously haven't had a win this year, so it's going to be very tough for them. Going on to the next game, United and Mansfield. Mansfield, the team we've just discussed there. Zip and 4. I mean, I tipped them to make the finals this year, so I'm looking like a bit of an idiot at the moment. But look, you've seen them I think twice this year, and also saw the last quarter last week when you came across from the netball. And they're going okay. They're just not winning games, and they've been in winning positions each time. Josh Fraser's dominating, playing really well. I mean, last week he was hurled, but they're playing 3-4 players on him to keep him down. But Mansfield just isn't making enough of the other options in the forward line, so that's something they're focusing on. But look, they desperately need a win, but United's probably not the team they're going to get it against.
Certainly, don't envy the position they're in at the moment. As you said, Zip and 4, and they've got United at Deakin, and then next week they've got Mooroopna at home. So they've got to face 2 very tough sides to try and get their first wins on the board. Don't envy their position at all.
Can't see it happening. I think finals are over for them, so that's my first wrong prediction of the year. Also tip your roll to finish on the bottom, which the boys got stuck in me about last week on GV Bounce. So not having a great year, coming second last in the tips, so I better
still a long way to go. It's still only round 4, so or going into round 5. So
good to see I'm getting a bit more support from you than Matt and Damon. That's good to see. You'll get a raise.
Oh, thank you.
Now over to the next game, I think match of the round, Seymour and Tatura. Seymour again, bit of a surprise pack, and I know they're coming off the grand final last year, but didn't do a lot of the recruiting that a lot of the other sides did, so a lot of people thought they'd slide a bit, but 3-1 under the Shane Robertson, the new coach. So look, they've got to be a chance against Tat. Tat obviously disappointing last start, but it is going to be hard. The Bulldogs on the rebound, they're a very, very good side. Yeah,
and it's strange because this is a grand final rematch from last year, but 2 new coaches, very different sides, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, it's on the back page of today's Shepparton News. We talked about James Wall, the ex-VFL recruit. It looks like he's played as a forward, a key forward in the first 4 rounds, but he's a very, very versatile player. So I'd like to think they're going to be playing in a few other positions. They might throw him down defence or maybe even on a wing. I mean, I've watched him at the Casey Scorpions back when I covered them, going back at my last paper, and he's so good. He can just play at any position in the ground. So hopefully he does get a bit of time outside of the forward line, but that remains to be seen. Obviously not in our hands, Hannah. And tomorrow night's game, Kyabram versus Euroa. Now Euroa had a couple of wins this year, but Kai's starting to charge now, so it's going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah, they've got two on the run. They've got 1 at home, and obviously they had the win at Mansfield last week, so that's a big one to win away. But yeah, hosting Euroa this week. Both teams, enjoying their night matches this year so far. So.
Yeah, they both enjoy a bit of night footy, get some extra crowd there, so he's really good. And then Kai looks like they're going to welcome back Paul Newman, Chris Atkins, Luke Morris, so just makes it even tougher for Euroa.
Yeah, that forward line looks good with Paul Newman added into it for sure.
And over to Rochester and Shepparton Swans. I've previewed that game, but you're going to head along tomorrow and have a look. I think that's just about probably the second best game of the round, really. I mean, the Swans probably a bit disappointing the last couple of weeks, but very dangerous. Everyone knows they've got a good midfield, good young side. They just need to find a way to kick goals against a very strong Tigers lineup. Yeah,
it was interesting. Brett Warburton said he's actually rated in his playing career and coaching career, Rochester is one of the toughest opponents that he's come across. So it'll be interesting to see how the Swans line up against the Tigers. They've got Tigers got a couple of their VFL guys back in, which is pretty handy, especially in their ruck stocks.
Ash Watson back as well. We all know how good he is, runner-up in the Morrison Medal last year.
Very true, yeah, he's very dangerous, very silky hands for sure, and kick. And we've got, what's our last game that we've got?
Mooroopna and Echuca will wrap up the round. Mooroopna starting to really hit their straps now. 2 wins in a row, beat Euroa under lights on Saturday night last week. So look, Daniel Lewis, I love this man. He is an absolute superstar. I mean, I'm quite happy to go on the record saying that. He's just about my favourite player in the comp. Love watching him. Played on the ball last week, which is a bit of a surprise. Euroa certainly didn't see it coming, but they needed to with a few midfielders out. So look, I'd back Mooroopna to win this one. Echuca hasn't had a win, but They have pushed sides. They almost beat Rochester in round one, so you never know what could happen here. Can you see an upset?
No, I'll stick with the favourites for this one, I think. Echuca, yeah, they've had some good performances. They've also had some disappointing ones so far. I can't see them getting up this week. They've also had a bit of a bad run with injuries in the first couple rounds, so hopefully they'll get back on track and, give them a run for their money.
And that brings an end to this week. Now, just before we go, we have started an online chat on Mondays from 12 to 1 on the Shepparton News website, so please come along and have a chat with us. Hannah will be there if you want to ask her any questions about GV footy or netball or any other sport across the region, so make sure you tune in 12 to 1, and otherwise that brings an end this week. We hope to see you at the footy.
Yep, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there this weekend.